Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit DyingDollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's DyingDollar.com.
What did you steal?
Secrets.
Disclosure Day is Steven Spielberg's best film in 20 years.
Are they people?
No.
Are they human?
Oh my God.
Spielberg does this better than anybody in history.
I can see them. They're coming.
Disclosure Day. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters Friday. Get tickets now.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222. President Trump in that contest against Maine Senator Susan Collins, the Republican from Maine, speaking out about the Democrat in this contest, the slime that we all know as Graham Plattner. You'll hear what President Trump has to say in just a moment. In the Carmelo Anthony case out in Texas, things are going from bad to worse. Jasmine Crockett, outgoing member of Congress, suggests that she would have stabbed Austin Metcalf as well, and a stunning defense of Carmelo Anthony. What is going on in the world? 800-848-9222. And it's not just Jasmine Crockett. It's also rapper Cardi B. Cardi B, facing a lot of backlash on social media, sent out a comment that said, quote, "Wow, just freaking wow, disgusting. This is not justice. This is trying to make an example." Folks, maybe it's me. I always thought murder is murder. And you can't just someone pushed you, justify stabbing them in the chest with a knife pierces their heart, and this is a young person just like you. I always thought that murder was murder. But with everything being as confused as it is, racially polarizing these days, I guess not. 800-848-9222. I want you to listen here to President Trump talking about, and we see your calls coming in, talking about the race in Maine.
Mr. President, you mentioned the Senate race in Maine. Are you all in supporting Susan Collins? Does she have your full support and endorsement in her Senate
She does,
re-election?
because she's a sane woman. She's not my best friend at all. These guys are. I get along well, but I have some. But she's a sane person. And she's a person that never missed a vote in many years. I mean, she's like had 10,000 votes. She had 10,000 votes. She never missed a vote. Unfortunately, because sometimes she voted against me. Look, she's a sane woman. And she's a respected person. Maybe a little different ideology than me. But this guy is a thug. He's a fake thug. He's a phony. I made a lot of money picking out phonies. He's a real phony. He's a bad person.
And so President Trump referring to Graham Plattner as a thug and a phony. 800-848-9222. We're about to start with your calls momentarily here. The father of the young man that was stabbed to death in that case in Texas had this to say, according to Fox News.
Protests erupting outside of a Texas courthouse after 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison for the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf at that 2025 high school track meet. Now, following the sentence, Metcalf's father delivered an emotional statement to Anthony. "We were robbed. This was never about race. It is about right and wrong. My son's death destroyed the person I used to be. He does not exist anymore. You're going to prison. I forgave you the day it happened. I don't forgive you don't forgive what you did. You can't look at me in the eyes, but you can stab my effing son. Let's bring in Fox News contributor.
And so there you have it, the father of the victim, what he had to say. We see all your calls. We're about to begin momentarily. Something is either wrong with the world or something is wrong with me. So Carmelo Anthony's relatives, I believe this is the grandmother, as she was leaving, throws up a heart sign chanting racism. Listen carefully to this.
Racist, bias, racist, bias, family too.
Racist bias. What planet are these people on? Then, of course, there's racial arsonist Jasmine Crockett. It is so wonderful for America that she lost her Senate bid in Texas. Now, she says, I want you to listen to this, that Austin Metcalf instigated the confrontation because he's emboldened. He's empowered because he's a white guy.
Also, I mean, can we just be real about this? Like, who is, I mean, like, why are you rolling up on somebody and being like, get out? Like,
Correct.
This is, to me, this is the culture that is being instigated. Yeah. Mostly because of like, you know, y'all know how we say on the internet, don't let your president get you fucked up, right? Like, cause people get bold. They get real bold with us right now. Like, you know, and this whiteness and this replacement theory crap that they on and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, we the victims, because the fact that, you know, any kid would feel like it makes sense to walk in and see this particular kid. I mean, we've all interpreted that there was a race component to this.
Yes.
And be like, oh, yeah, it's raining, but get out. Like, why? Like, why?
Well, here's why, stupid. Here's why. Obviously, you never played sports. If you played sports and you weren't so ignorant, you would understand that with sports teams, the schools keep the teams separate. It becomes a territory thing. This is nothing new. This happens in every state in the country. So I played football at Cardinal Hayes High School, DeWitt Clinton High School, John F. Kennedy High School. They would never put the two teams together in the same tent, no matter what the sport is, because it's asking for trouble. Asking for trouble. And with track, it's sort of just like football. It's very territorial. Unbelievable. This from a member of Congress. 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Let's begin with Donna, line 3 in Connecticut. Donna, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I just want to say that anyone defending murder is really morally bankrupt. Carmelo Anthony knew he should not have been in the tent, and when he was asked to leave, he could have just gotten up and left. He was way overboard in stabbing that young man to death. And to hear all these quote-unquote celebrities or parasites is what they really are, playing and calling the race card and there's no justice. I don't know when black people are going to stand up and say, you're full of you know what? You're full of it. And getting 35 years, it wasn't even manslaughter. I just want to bring up real quick a case that happened on June 20th, 1995. White kid in the Bronx, Paul Cicero Jr., walking along, stabbed in the abdomen by one of the Tanglewood boys, Johnny Petroselli. Johnny Petroselli got life without parole for that stabbing. There may have been other extenuating circumstances. I was a victim advocate for homicide families for 11 years on the Bronx, and I see justice done in that he will have to serve time. He's going to have to reflect for a long time on what he did. You just don't take human life so flagrantly. And that's all I have to say. But everyone else, defending him and starting all this garbage, this racism. I think about Robert Woodson, who just passed away. He was not that kind of a man. He wanted blacks to stand up for themselves and not just stay on the plantation. That's all I have to say about that.
Don't get me started, Donna. Please don't get me started today about the Democrat plantation. It's why young kids in urban America are ignorant. It's why the Democrat plantation. It's why young kids in urban America is just throwing billions of dollars to educate these kids. Nothing is working. Mommy doesn't teach them anything. Daddy's nowhere to be found. I think I'm qualified to say that, given that I'm exactly that situation myself, where daddy was nowhere to be found. It's just an absolute mess. And I wasn't even going to mention, but Donna, you're on point. I wasn't even going to mention the plantation from Democrats today. When people like Jasmine Crockett, don't you understand, stupid Congresswoman, you are empowering these young people to think that they can do no wrong. It's so bad that they now think they can stab somebody in the chest and there's no repercussions behind. 800-848-9222. Gene, line 2, Mount Vernon. Gene, what's on your mind?
Yes, good afternoon, Dominic. From 1950 to 1954, I was going to Evander Childs High School in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
I lived on East Tremont Avenue in Parkchester.
Right, it was a whole different other neighborhood back then.
Get off the bus from on Webster Avenue and cross over the street to get onto the bus that would bring me down to Parkchester.
Okay.
And I never had any problems on that bus at all. Everybody
okay, Gene,
was
what's the point you're trying to make, Gene?
Considerate, and we were considerate as well. And I always was able to get off that bus with no problem.
Okay, all right. Is there a point you were trying to make, Gene?
Well, because of the man that was splaying yesterday on that bus, because he was accused of talking too much. And
you're referring to, okay, I'm trying to put things in perspective. You're referring to the man that was shot dead on the bus in the Bronx. Is that what you're talking about, the Bronx, New York? Right. But but again, Gene, and I don't want to get worked up about the Democrat plantation because it's a waste of time. They're not listening and they don't understand. When I say they, you know exactly who I'm talking about, urban America. They don't understand that this comes at their expense. It comes at their expense, right? You want to lash out at people like me because I say law and order, responsibility, but you just want to do whatever you want to do. And guess what? Society is going to tell you that's not the way it is. That's what just happened in Texas. That's why Carmelo Anthony is going to be doing his second night in prison tonight. But hey, look at the good side. His family has a nice house, right? And there's talk, all types of things about mommy getting a nose job. I mean, you know, living the good life on the donations, right? And please tell me I'm wrong, but I believe Carmelo Anthony had a public defender when over $600,000 came in for his legal defense fund. But hey, mommy and daddy wanted to live with the money, so they went and got a new house in a nice neighborhood. Way to go, mommy and daddy. Time for a break. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I want you folks to listen to even liberal law professor Dante Mills appearing on television on the Carmelo Anthony case.
I'm a lawyer. It's my profession. I truly believe in it. I think the law worked here. I'm also a law professor, and I teach my students that you have to look at individual cases. Texas has a stand your ground law where he's not required to leave that tent, even if it's not, sportsmanlike to be there. But you still can't take an escalation. You can't turn a shove into a stabbing, and that's what the jury saw here. He still gets the benefit of the law, like standing your ground, like self-defense, but the jury just rejected it because they said he escalated too much. But we have to really pay attention to the facts of this case, and I think in this case, the jury got it right.
Yeah.
And Congressman Brandon Gill of Texas stating that the death penalty for Carmelo Anthony would have been real justice.
The Carmelo Anthony verdict yesterday, I mean, that was justice. That's the justice system working the way that it should. I mean, this was horrific. This was a guy who went into another team's camp at a track meet, was told to leave 15 times, stabbed a guy for really no good reason that anybody can discern other than just pure barbarity, and should be in prison for a long time. I agree with you. I mean, real justice would mean the death penalty, but 35 years is something that I think we can at least be proud of.
Looking at my Twitter, looking at my ex, Debbie Lebedo, Staten Island, says, at Dominic TV, Carmelo Anthony's parents aborted their son in his teenage years when he was doomed due to his upbringing. They kept the money, and now they continue living off the system with their son in the system. A disgrace. The community who supports the parents are no better. Debbie, I agree with you 1,000%, but maybe it's me. Maybe I was supposed to be out there protesting with them over my dead body. I'm being sarcastic. Over my dead body, would I be caught out there? I would have a fit if my kids were out there protesting with those fools in Texas. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Bill in Brooklyn, line 5. Bill, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. Yes. When is the black community and all Americans going to protest the black-on-black crime,
never,
and the black-on-white crime, and everybody?
Never.
It's disgusting. Never. I'm from Brooklyn my whole life. I have black friends, white friends. There's no racial problems, but it's sickening to see young people killing each other and everybody else, and the community and the athletes and the movie stars don't say one iota.
Right, because people don't understand the athletes are paid. They're going to their $1 million mansions. They don't care. They made it out. You asked a couple of questions there, and I think they were rhetorical questions because I think you already know the answer on each and every one of them. I don't see things getting better. I really don't, Bill. And I try to be positive, but this Carmelo Anthony case, first of all, he should be thanking God that he only got 35 years based on what he did. That's number one. Number two, I don't even want to keep revisiting it, but thank you so much for the telephone call. Folks, I've got to take a break. We're going to get to Dave in West Hampton Beach, Allen, New Jersey, Robert in North Carolina, Mike in Virginia, amongst the calls. I got to tell you, folks, I am looking forward to Saturday when the weather's going to be great. Marilyn and I and my son Dominic, we are coming to Goshen, New York, a fair. It's at 939 Pulaski Highway, Goshen. We'll be there from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. signing books, taking pictures. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are coming right back to the Carmelo Anthony situation in Texas. We see all of your telephone calls for you to be heard. 800-848-9222. One of our other big stories. And this is why President Trump is actually beloved. The president speaking out, calling a spade on Graham Plattner. The Democrats... All I can do is laugh. A candidate for the U.S. Senate to go up against Susan Collins in Maine. President Trump, listen carefully here, folks, calling Plattner a thug, worse than any human being that's ever run for office.
I watched that thug that's up in Maine. He's a thug. And they're trying to make excuses for him. I mean, he's worse than any human being that's ever run for office, probably. I don't know him. I don't want to say bad, but I just, look, I mean, nobody's ever had a record like that. And you'll have Schumer. He goes crazy over this or that, or Epstein. This guy. Why are they talking about him? He said, well, we don't know, but this guy's got a rap sheet. I've never seen anything like it. He's a thug. I know thugs. I had to deal with thugs. I built a lot of buildings. I dealt with the toughest people on earth. I dealt with worse than thugs. This guy's a thug. He's a low-level thug. And he's running to be a senator, to work with Eric Schmidt. Great, Eric will handle him. I think. To be with Barrasso, who the hell do we have to be with Rand? Now, Rand would be very interesting with him. Rand would figure it out, he'll put him away. But this is a thug. He's a cheap, no good person. And I watch these senators of the Democrats, and, well, we don't really know. You do know. He's as bad. I've never seen a person like that run for office. And the guy from Texas, different, but he's terrible too.
So the president calling the situation as is. Another person that does exactly that is Scott Jennings, a Republican consultant that appears on CNN. He's always outnumbered 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. And yet Scott Jennings always seems to win. And when it comes to ethics and moral and the moral high ground and so on, but in particular morals, for Democrats, what morals?
They keep looking for that one story, that one headline, that one moment in my life that they can define the campaign by. But in trying so hard to understand me, they failed to understand that this is not about me at all.
Why are you chuckling, Scott?
Because when you're as damaged as this guy, I guess I would also say it's not really about me, because if it's about him, they're in real trouble. It sort of makes me laugh. They're looking for one story. They were looking for one, and they found like 20. But let's just start with the tattoo. Democrats have spent 10 years here and everywhere else calling every Republican from Donald Trump on down a Nazi sympathizer, and a fascist. And tonight, the Democratic Party sent a message. You know what? Nazi tattoo, perfectly fine with us. That is what they are now saddled with. The campaign is about him. There is not one story. There is a troubling list of behavioral issues on this guy. His entire narrative is a lie. They're not going to be able to take the focus off of Grant Platt.
But on the tattoo, though, the difference between he and Donald Trump is
that he has a tattoo and Trump doesn't?
But I think the problem that he had, I think it's why there were a lot of women behind him tonight, the problem was...
Good thing they were behind him and not in front of him.
That, well,
So, there you go. You want to know why these kids are all screwed up? Look at who can run for office. 800-848-9222. Another clear example. Mamdani, the mayor of New York City. Boy, is he driving this city into the ground. New York City. And America, I hope you're getting a good look at this. So, Mamdani is proud of the fact that his administration has spent $15 million, a $15 million investment in gender-affirming care.
As a first step, my administration has made a $15 million investment in gender-affirming care over the next 2 years. And we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to ensure that trans and gender nonconforming New Yorkers can live with dignity, safety, and freedom they deserve.
And you don't understand why people are being shot on the bus for just asking these little savages to turn down the music? You don't, or turn down their cell phone? And you don't understand, folks? It's very clear what's going on all across the country. Thank you, Democrat Party. Thank you so much. How can we ever repay you? Thank you so much for helping to ruin the country. Now, I don't know if I agree with this, but Spencer Pratt in L.A. and, we had 7% here in New York. Tyrus on Fox News sounding off on the L.A. mayor's race and says that the Republican Party, as well as in New York City, has to get serious and put up real candidates and not clowns. These are his words, not mine.
If every Republican in L.A. County would have voted, he would have made the runoff. He might not have won the thing, and also you have to look at the Republican Party. It shouldn't be a Spencer Pratt, no disrespect. And you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't in New York, it shouldn't have been a guy with a beret and a cat problem.
You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, until you have people of leadership and substance who are willing to step up, you should be inspired that a guy with no experience who just talked to you about some of your problems got enough to make them upset, made one of them cry and quit. You know, so we can be mad about the way the voting system is, but again, it's until the people do something. I will now refer to California as communist California. I will not bring my family back to California. I drove through it, I saw it, and I was like, I grew up there. I loved it. I wanted to be there my whole life. And it is a socialist, communist state now, and we need to understand that.
Interesting. And again, tonight's the big game, right? I guess that's positive, right? I guess, right? The big game, the New York Knicks. Stephen A. Smith still blaming President Trump.
New York Knicks fan base in decades, and you would get in the way of that. He should have been ashamed of himself for disrupting that and showing up to the game in Game 3. And I do blame him for the loss, because as far as I'm concerned, it disrupted the momentum. I'm a New York Knicks fan. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that. So is he. So are all of us as New Yorkers. And in the world of sports, you do get a bit superstitious at times. Whatever is working, don't disrupt it. The New York Knicks won 13 straight playoff games, too shy of a record tying the Golden State Warriors of 2017, and it got ruined the moment Donald Trump showed up. Damn right I blame him. I said it before, and I'm saying it again.
I understand in terms of what it is like for the fan.
Stephen A. Smith. All I can do is laugh, folks. Let's continue with your telephone calls. Let's go to line 2, David in West Hampton Beach. David, what's on your mind?
Hey, you're going to be in Goshen. I don't know if you know this, but Goshen has the Trotter Hall of Fame. They have a Hall of Fame for people that do horse racing, which are trotters. And then the other thing, you were talking about your mail-in ballots last week. You were talking about the issues with your credit card company not receiving your mail. And it makes us wonder.
No. I think, David, I think you're mixing me up with somebody. I don't recall talking about credit card companies receiving my mail, but go ahead with your point.
Saturday afternoon, come on. And if they're not receiving your credit card statements, how are they getting you in ballots, Commissioner?
Right. Go let your mommy pat you on the head, and you still there, and give you some warm cookies. Boy, there are some nut job. You know what? They're calling for the sole purpose of getting my goat, because they're looking for a chink in the armor, and they think they found it by getting under my skin. And you're not going to get under my skin. So call. You want to make a fool of yourself? Call. But I am going to make sure I start writing down the numbers to pass them on, because it's right here in front of me, each telephone number. And if I have to write them down in terms of taking your call, I will. Let's continue with your telephone calls here. Let's go to Robert, line 4, North Carolina. Robert, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Dominic.
Hi.
That kid in Texas, he's lucky he wasn't facing the death penalty for trying to carve that kid's heart out.
Well, I don't know if it was his intention to carve his heart out, but whenever you're stupid and reckless enough to pull out a knife and stab somebody in the chest, anything can happen. And I guess the broader question, Robert, is how did this kid get to this point? And I you know what? Take that back. What the lawyers say, strike that from the record. Take that back. $600,000 raised for his legal defense, and mommy and daddy move into a nice house. That kind of answers everything that I need to know. That says to me there's a lack of education with mother and father. It says to me they're not used to having anything in life. And the first time they were able to get something, they made a complete fool of themselves and their son. Thank you for the call, Robert. Al in New Jersey, line 3. What's on your mind, Al?
Hello, Dominic. Thank you for taking my call. God
Of
bless
course.
you and everything you do.
Thank you.
You tell me not to be a stranger. This is my second time calling. And there's nothing wrong with you. What's wrong with the world is that evil is influencing everything in our time. That's what the problem is.
That's what it is?
Because if you want to look at the spiritual side of it, 2,000 years ago, our good Lord talked about this. There will be lawlessness in the land. Man's hearts will grow cold. You know, you will be persecuted for your faith, or you will be killed for your faith. And look what the Jewish people are going through in this country, which shouldn't be happening. You know, when this country was founded, it was founded because of the belief in God and Jesus Christ, and that's what's lacking. Because when we fought for our independence, we also fought for God, and when you fight for God, God will protect you. And I'm not trying to be a preacher, but this is what I was brought up on. My family raised me the right way. I taught my son the same thing. My father was an ex-Marine in World War II. God bless his soul. And, you know, he was strict, and he brought me up the right way. He says, always remember to salute that flag whenever you see it, because a lot of people died for that liberty and everything that we have today. Nobody cares.
Absolutely.
Nobody cares about that no more, Dominic.
Right. You know why they don't care, Al? I'm really trying my best. Maybe I need some medication today. I'm trying my best and I get worked up. They don't care because all they care about is their welfare check. All they care about is how much food stamps, how much Medicaid, how many more babies do I got to have to get more of a check? That's where we are society-wise. Al, thank you for the call. Stan, New Jersey, line 2. What's on your mind, Stan?
Hello, Dominic. This is my first time calling, and I'm a big fan of yours.
Let me just say this. Wait, Stan, let me just say this. Russ, you know I'm not a fan of yours. You were just on with Greg Kelly. Why would you call back a few minutes later and think you're going to get on with me? Eliminate line 3. He's not getting on the air. I'm not a fan of yours anymore, Russ. I don't like the hatred. You're part of the problem. I don't like the hatred that you sell and push. Eliminate line 3. Let somebody get on this line that's valuable. Go ahead, Stan.
Sorry, you're speaking to me.
It's not your fault, Stan. It's not your fault.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just want to say I'm a big fan of yours. Listen all the time.
Thank you.
And we have some common area in which I grew up in Rockland County.
Okay.
But maybe we can chat about that sometime. But no, I just recall your discussion about with your family about possibly running for mayor. So speaking of who should run, who should get in a race, you please. For New York City.
Stan, what's the best way to say this? The black community is not ready for me. It really isn't. Because all this nonsense will stop. And I mean stop overnight. So that's all I can say. Because they're just not ready for me. We want to run it's so sad. We want to run around, be reckless. We want to do stupid things. And then if we get called out on it, you're racist, you won't let me do what I want to do. Do you even know what racism is? Of course not. It's just what you've been told to say because you want to lay around on your ass doing nothing all day long. Hey, Stan, thank you for the great call and for the support there. It is time for a break. 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day to Russ in White Plains. I listened to you with my colleague at the end of his show, Greg Kelly. And what's the best and most blunt way I can say this? Man, I'm not feeling your brand of hatred anymore. Your 15 minutes are up with me. Call my colleagues. Don't call me. And you have such hatred against Israel, against anything that's positive. You're one of the reasons, Russ, why these black kids out here acting a fool. and you were just on with Greg, and then you got the cojones to call me again with your hatred, like you're going to get through, when you already know I'm not feeling your telephone calls. And to those of you that, think you're getting my goat calling up the nut jobs, this is the last time I'm even going to reference it. You're not even going to get a rise out of me. I'm going to say thank you, meet Mr. Click. I may come up with something creative to call it or something like that, but that's going to be it. End of story. I'm not feeling this hatred anymore. It's not cute. I'm not feeling the way these black kids are out of control. Oh, you can't say that, Dominic. You can't say the black kids. Yes, I can. I'm one of them. They're out of control. And mommy and daddy, grandma, in my case it was grandma, somebody got to put them in check. We can't continue like this. Carmelo Anthony in the wrong tent, and you're going to stab somebody in their chest? And then they're out there talking about no justice, no peace. Notice who wasn't out there protesting with them. Notice he don't be out there that much protesting anymore. Mr. No Justice, No Peace. I wonder why. That's all I'm going to say. I wonder why. Why he's not out there no more leading the pack. I wonder why. Show me the money. I'm not stupid. I've been around this game a very long time. Drea, line 4, Huntington, New York. What's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
Where I wholeheartedly, I believe exactly Carmelo Anthony got what he deserved. But one thing that did bother me with the jury was an all-white jury. Like that, I have to say that bothered me because
why? It didn't bother me. If his lawyer didn't do what his family would have felt would be a decent job to get a black on the jury, then why is that our fault? That's not our fault.
No, I understand that, but unfortunately, half of the world sees black and white, where you and I may not. But right away, that's going to add fuel to the fire. That's going to add fuel to the fire.
But even if there was a black person on the jury, they would have said, Uncle Tom, you sold out. You voted with the white man to convict. In other words, no matter what happened, unless he was set free. Hey, can you answer this for me? How are people delusional to be out there protesting? A kid was stabbed in the chest. Let's say, for argument's sake, that the Metcalf boy pushed Carmelo Anthony. That justifies stabbing him in the chest, and you out there talking about no justice, no peace. How does that happen?
I really don't know. I don't get it myself. It's disgusting. And if roles were reversed, forget about it.
Oh my God!
But
oh my God! If you mean if a white kid had stabbed a black kid?
Yes. Oh yes.
Oh my God! Live at 5, live at 6, live at 7. Team coverage, triple coverage. This is where the parents grew up at. This is what it's racism. It's racism. Maybe we should eliminate that word. Maybe that's an idea. Thank you for the wonderful call. Maybe that's what we should do to stop the crutches of these non-stop excuses. Well, why didn't you finish high school? Oh, I didn't finish high school because of racism. Well, why didn't you go to college? You can go for free, basically, when other people have to pay. I didn't go to college because of racism. So why didn't you amount to something in life? I didn't amount to something in life because of racism. It's tired. I'm sick of hearing it. Just like I'm sick of hearing the slavery game. Oh, all these years later, I can't amount to something because the white man. I'm so sick of this. Quickly, Anthony in Queens, line 3. Anthony, you only got 15 seconds. Quickly, please.
God bless you, Dominique. I'm a proud African American.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Love my country, God fearing. There's plenty of us, and in this case, like you said, they never competed. And
hey, Anthony, do me a favor. Please call me back again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Because I'm out of time. Folks, join the Tunnel to Towers Foundation on its mission to do good in honor of America's heroes. Go to T2T.org. T, the number 2, T.org. I'm back live at midnight.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Get ready, Staten Island.
Tonight, the Ferry Hawks host the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars with first pitch at 6:30. Thursday, it's a doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. with Jewish Heritage Night. As for this game, the Ferry Hawks will play as the Staten Island Menches. Friday at 7 p.m., it's soccer night and kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway night with postgame fireworks and Broadway rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day and the kids run around the bases.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.